If you're new to this channel, hi. If you're not, welcome back. I'm Angel, your internet dreamer girl. Today I'm going to take you along on a draw with me. This might take more than one day. As a wannabe shoujo girl, of course I'm very into anime, so I've been really enjoying making anime-inspired fan art. This paper is thick and it has a bit of a grain texture to it, so I hope it will turn out really nice. For reference, I'll be using this Frieren official art with her holding the blue moon weed with the flower crown, and I'm going to be drawing her with Richeh sitting back to back, like mother and daughter. I just thought them both holding the flowers in the same pose was really cute. To start off, I'm drawing the guidelines so I know the approximate size and placement of things. And then I proceeded with my rough sketches. And while I'm drawing on time-lapse, why not some story time? So I actually started learning how to draw when I was about 11 years old, which is kind of late knowing that I've loved to draw and create art ever since I was a really young child. I remember whenever given the choice to do things during free time, I would always choose to draw or do something crafty. But I didn't think of going into art professionally and really studying it until a while later, which explains why I'm not so wowingly great at drawing. Because I've never actually studied anatomy fully, so I can only draw things based off of references and I can't draw things based off of just my mind. I actually struggle especially while drawing portraits like faces and bodies. The more realistic it is, the harder it gets as well. And it's ironic because as a fashion student, I need to be able to draw figures properly. At least I'm really good at drawing clothes and hairstyles. Okay, so I didn't catch it on camera, but I struggled like many tries trying to get her hands right. Hands are like my weak point. They are the hardest things to draw ever. And now I'm just finishing up the rest of her hair outfit. My hands are like all covered in graphite now. I can already tell that I am pressing too hard while sketching, which is not a good thing because they won't fade properly. And for light colors, it will definitely show up. I am using an HB monograph mechanical pencil in thickness 0.5. I finished the pencil line art for Richeh, and I definitely think it looks a bit different because compared to the original, I feel like her face structure is the most different part. It looks really messy right now and the graphite is smudged everywhere, but I will ink it and make it look neater. For my viewers that are also artists, I have a question for you. Do you prefer digital art or traditional on-paper art? I personally feel like I have a lot more control over physical art forms for some reason, and I also like that it feels more realistic. I also do enjoy drawing digitally, but I love how drawing physical art shows so much more of the artist's raw process without too much editing or filters. And I also kind of enjoy the struggle of it. Not gonna lie, digital art is still super gorgeous, and I admire those who can do it well. I guess my brain and hands are just more used to doing these more hands-on things anyway, so that's just what works for me. Aren't Frieren and Richeh just so cute together? I saw these posts online about Richeh being Frieren and Himmel's daughter, and I really can't unsee it. I've fallen for this fandom-made crossover family because they are just so perfect together. I have finally finished drawing the pencil of both Frieren and Richeh, and right now my desk is super messy with the graphite and pencil and eraser sponges everywhere, but I am going to gum eraser this so that it's faint and start inking it. For inking, I will be using this Sakura Pigma Micron pen. I unfortunately only have it in the thinnest one, but having a thicker one would be more ideal for bigger drawings. And this is in shade black. These pens are really holy grail for inking because they can draw from anything to straight, harsh lines to thin, shady lines, and another plus is that it's completely waterproof, so it won't smudge if you plan to use watercolor over top. Art really is therapeutic, especially if you're drawing things you enjoy. It's when you can transport yourself into your own little world, but at the same time you become more aware of the world around you. You can be experimental and be free to test your imagination, and visualize and actualize anything you want to. As Einstein once said, imagination is more important than knowledge. What do you think? I love art the most for its ability to communicate feelings and tell stories. People of the Renaissance thought painters were gods. I don't possess any special powers though. I have finished inking Frieren and Richeh. Actually not completely finished because I'm still contemplating on whether I should ink the flowers or not. Because in the reference, this one, the flowers do have black outlines, and this one, they have colored outlines. And I don't know which one I like better, so still deciding on that, but I think this will be finished for today. I'm back on day 2, and I'm going to start coloring them. So I have a slight problem, and that is that I don't have actual watercolor paints, but I do have brushes and watercolor pencil crayons, so I will be using these and see how it goes. I didn't have a skin tone color, so I just lightly filled it in with different colors that could mix into a skin tone, and then I used water to blend it out. I used the round point tip brush for the entire process of coloring. How's that? She might be looking a little bit orange, but then I added some pink to her cheeks to make it look cuter and blushier, and I think this is looking okay so far. So I was just sharpening my pencil crayon and this happened. Oh my gosh, I low-key winged this. Please tell me your skin tone looks okay. I would have much preferred a wider range of colors of watercolor paints and a mixing palette, because that allows me to play around with color values more, but I have to work with what I have. Sorry if I'm offending any professional watercolorists out there. Oh my gosh, I think I just messed up big time. Earlier my brush slipped and I dropped some of that blue paint on her face. Can you see? Oh my god. As an 18-year-old young woman, I think it's pretty common for people like me around my age to be constantly overthinking. When you just start being an adult, it's a time when life is so uncertain and you're still trying to figure things out. I always feel like that there's so much things I need to do, but then I don't really end up doing anything, and that I'm running out of time and falling behind. But the reality is that I still have so much of my life ahead of me. There's also the problem of unconsciously comparing yourself to everyone else. You have to remember that every individual is uniquely different, and everyone is at a different point in their life journey. Great to have big dreams and have people you look up to. But what matters most is finding your own voice and recognizing your own growth journey. As someone very shy and highly introverted and very introspective, I often find myself living inside my own head. While being introspective is great, being in your own head all the time can turn into being in the worst place possible. When negative thoughts pile up, and when you're either too stuck in the past or too focused on the future, you can easily forget where we are now. So when your mind is too impatient and loud, the best thing to do is take it slow and live in the present. Okay, so I think I'm kind of messing up again. You see, the color of this shading is just so wrong. I probably shouldn't have used black on the blue parts and made it more blue and purple tone focused, because now her clothes look very messy compared to that. Life is like a painting. You start from a blank canvas and step by step build up the full picture. It isn't always a smooth linear progress. There are many bumps and mistakes along the way, and many layers that others may not see. You might even want to restart. But no matter what path you choose and no matter how long it takes, others may see a completed perfect picture, but you will see the whole process. And even so, a finished artwork can be interpreted differently by different people. Most likely you won't even feel finished, you won't feel complete, and most of the time, that's just how life works. I acknowledge the fact that it's great to feel proud and accomplished of your own work. But the feeling of there's always room to improve is what keeps us going. Even when things get hard, the key is to see the good in everything. Rather than being your own worst critic, find opportunities and areas to grow. And while you're at it, remember you're not alone and do anything in your willpower to achieve your dreams. Thank you for listening to this episode of Self-Advisory Loser Core Dreamer Girl Diaries. But oh no, this yap session is not over yet. If you can't already tell, my most recent obsession is watching anime and reading manga. Sounds very otaku and weebcore. In specific, I'm really enjoying Frieren Beyond's Journey End and Witch Hat Atelier. These fantasy genres are really unique because they have a very compelling plot, fantastic world building, and great character writing. And I love their quiet, comforting slice of life moments most. By drawing my two favorite characters, I was really focused down and locked in on it the whole time. I spent many hours on this, and I finally just finished coloring the characters, and I think I'm happy with how they turned out. But oh my gosh, I left my desk like such a mess. There's like splatters of paint everywhere. I couldn't leave the background just blank white, otherwise it would be so boring for a big sheet of paper. I originally had the idea to draw the Art Nouveau golden frame type, because Richeh had that around her on the reference. But then I thought it would be a bit too time-consuming and meticulous, and a bit beyond my skill level, so I just filled it in with the blue moon weed floating around in the background. And now it's finished! Ta-da! I actually feel so proud and accomplished after making this. If you've watched till here, thank you so much for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed this episode of being artsy with me, and I hope it inspires you to be creative as well. Always remember to eat well, sleep well, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!